live on RocketHub's YouTube channel. Today we have a very unique product which hardly lands in the lifetime DU world. You won't see a product like this. And we also have a great founder of it too. So let's welcome Sam Cassidy to RocketHub. Sam, it has been a long overdue for PPC Storm to come, and we launched on RocketHub. We were talking about it since 2022, 2023, and finally you folks are here. It's been great. Thank you so much for taking out time today to join us and address the community.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're honored to be partnering with you guys on getting PPC Storm out to the world, and we really look forward to serving your community and seeing what we can do together to make this the best Amazon PPC software on the market.
Likewise. And good thing is you folks are still pretty early to the market because we don't have a lot of tools out there who can do this efficiently. And on yep, that's amazing. Great to have you. So let's begin. We would start with your introduction as to how did PPC Storm came into picture and what is the agency you run and your background. So people would like to love you. And even when we see in the comments right now, people are actually loving the product. They're saying, okay, this thing hasn't come, for a long time into the IFMD world. So yeah, let's get into it, Sam, and welcome once again.
Sure. So yeah, hi everyone. So yeah, my name's Sam Cassidy. I've been in the Amazon game for almost 10 years now, and I started initially as just a consultant. Then I developed an agency with a partner that was focused purely on advertising. And from that, we discovered that the tools that were available on the market 2 or 3 years ago didn't quite serve the custom needs that we had from a management perspective, especially at scale. So trying to put our secret sauce of weekly, daily optimizations, it wasn't even working through Excel macros in the bulk sheet. So we set out to develop this custom tool. We actually partnered with a whole development team. So a development team has an ownership in PPC Storm who help us develop everything that we do. It helps us be quite agile and quite quick to develop new features as they come out. We try and take pride in that anything new that comes out, we're one of the first to test it. We're small and agile at this point. We've been live with PPC Storm, I believe, about a year at this point. I would call it a soft launch. We basically ran it with our colleagues and friends, and then since then it's just been pretty much referrals from there. We have about a non-LTD, about 100 active users. We're very, we're stable. We have MRR. We're now just looking really for as much feedback as we can get from people who are going to be using the tool and seeing what features are really important to people so that we can prioritize our roadmap to make sure it's the right fit for everyone. Yeah, so that's everything about PPC Storm. Maybe I should jump into showing it live and showing how people can make the most out of the tool.
Correct. And thank you so much. I think, Sam, very curious. I asked this to every founder who joins us. How did you derive the name of the product PPC Storm?
It actually took a long time, and we went back and forth on a lot of names. And ultimately, because our expertise is in the advertising side, we did decide to keep, PPC as part of the name. Storm being that you can do a lot of things at once. It's very quick. You can save a lot of time. So in and around, lightning bolt kind of thing. not too sophisticated, that's for sure. But something that's easy to remember.
Got it. Awesome. And how many team members you have in the company right now?
So total, we have about 15.
Wow.
So we have basically our support team. We actually share currently with our agency. So our support team are Amazon experts. So if you have any questions while you're working on PPC Storm or get stuck and don't know what you should be doing, our support team are fully trained Amazon advertising experts who should be able to give you some generic advice. Probably not so much the strategy side, but certainly if you need to help figure out how to implement things, we can help you out from a PPC Storm perspective there.
Got it. Awesome. Cool. And I have seen the product. Folks, we have seen the product. It's very advanced because the features list, it's pretty diverse. You get like a lot of features because that's what Amazon requires. They have a lot of stuff going on right now. So we'll discuss about the Amazon ads industry later on in the video. Now let's get into the product. Let's show people the meat and the magic behind PPC stuff. Yeah.
Sure. All right, let me share my screen. All right. Everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in basically our demo mode right now, which will restrict me
Awesome.
from a couple of things, but I'll explain that as I go through. Um, so this is the the home screen, the dashboard. We'll come back to that in a second. When you first sign up for your account, you'll end up landing in this screen right here, your connection screen. So this basically is a locked screen until you connect your Amazon account. So don't panic if you can't find anything else. All you've got to do is come up here, connect any advertising account through this button. Just select whichever region you're in. It'll push you through to Amazon to log in and allow the connection with PPC Storm. And once you've done that, it'll pop up here. It'll show as active, and it'll start pulling in Amazon ads data. And it can take anything from 12 to 48 hours to fully bring in all of your data from the last 90 days, which is how far we can look back for you on initial connection. We do keep your data for the lifetime of your account, which is one of the huge benefits is in that you can review your data year over year if you use PPC Storm long enough. Just one quick thing while we're here is there is a second connection that is optional that you can make, and this is called the seller connection. This helps bring in things like your overall sales, which allows us to calculate things like take costs, the percentage of sales that come from ads, so how reliant your product or account is on advertising, and also things like sessions and unit session percentage. So if you have the ability to connect it, if you have the permissions for your account to do so, I would highly recommend doing that here as well. All right, so on the dashboard, this is like your home base. This is where you're going to see your main KPIs, the trends for those main KPIs, and see how they've been doing. So I've currently got a 30-day period on here. We can see that we're 33% down on sales, 37.4% down on spend, etc. And then I use this graph a lot. We can compare different metrics against each other. So if I want to see the spend versus impressions, how that correlates, we can do that here. We're then looking at sales and spend distribution across the different ad types. This is super helpful to see if there's a big discrepancy between if you're spending the same amount on sponsored brands versus sponsored products, but almost all of your sales come from sponsored products, then that's a decision you need to make on, do you need to put more money in sponsored products instead of brands, etc. And then we've got these different cards here. We've got about 6 or 7 different cards. Again, a lot of this is in demo mode. It's hidden data, but you can edit the order by. You can say high to low in spend, sales, or ACOS, and then you get some information here. This is like a quick, fast, and dirty way of getting some information so that you can make some decisions in your management. One thing that's helpful if you've got clients, or even if you just want to have a more official monthly report, you can click this button right here, and it generates a whole much more detailed page for this as a PDF. So this is what you can use to send to your clients, or just, as you say, keep it as a monthly tangible that you refer back to. So I believe that's everything here on the dashboard.
And this data can be exported as well, right? Let's say if they want to export it, the data in a CSV format, can they do that?
Yes, at the table level and pretty much all of the other screens,
Got
you
it.
can export your tables.
Okay,
This is just a PDF that you'd be able to pull here, but
got
also on any of the charts, you can just click on here, and if you want it as a CSV or an image just of the charts as you have them, you can also do that.
got it. Awesome.
And actually, also you can drag it. I don't move mine around, but you can drag and drop or cancel out any of these that you don't want to see.
Got it.
If you want to rearrange it as well.
Awesome.
All right, let's move on to what's next here. Dashboard queue. All right, so let's move on to if we wanted to actually do some management of our account. So under sponsored products, I'm just going to go to targets, which is targets or keywords in this table. Okay, so these KPI cards, they show whatever is active in the table. So if we were to put on, for example, a search, it's not going to work with demo mode actually. But if I go, let's go clicks greater than 5 and apply that, we see these KPIs change. So you can filter the table and then see overall what's left in the table from these different KPIs up here with a little graph if you
Mm-hmm.
want it. So I'll hide the filters for now. Okay, so in this keywords and targets table, you can make changes directly inside Seller Central without having to leave PPC Storm. So you can edit the bid manually just one by one by doing this. Click in here and it'll let you change the number. We can go through and check the history right at the end here. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's open this graph and it shows you the history of the time frame you've got open. And you can see based on the bid, how is it affecting all of the other metrics? And again, you can turn on or off any of these to make your comparisons and save the chart however you'd like. Then we've got a couple of custom metrics here. We've got cost per acquisition and revenue per click. And then the rest of them should be pretty standard if you've run any ads before.
Mm.
All right, and then here we've got manual bidding. Again, it's not going to let me pop it open, but when you click manual bidding, it allows you to increase or decrease by percentage. So if you say, okay, I want to increase this bid by 20%, you can do that there. You can also increase or decrease by not only the bid, but you can go based on the current cost per click if you'd like. And you can also do a lot of this in bulk. So to do so, you would just highlight these boxes, and then you would go actions at the top, manual bidding, and do that in bulk. And then as you see popping up here, this is where we would attach rules at the keyword or target level. You can do this on multiple levels, but this is the keyword or the target level.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so other things in here, as we can see these gray bars here, these are two really important reports that you can get from Seller Central. One is called the Search Term Impression Share Report, which is from your advertising console. And one is called the Search Query Performance Report. And this is from your brand analytics area in your Seller Central. Both of these can be used really well to help your advertising management and see progress or see if there's even potential for a keyword to grow. You might already be spending the maximum amount and there's no more room to grow. The reason that this is highlighted like this is because it's not available in the API yet. So these are manual uploads you can do into your targets area, and it allows you to compare certain things. So if I just make sure that those are on here. Oops, wrong one. So these are the metrics we can add in based on those two reports. So you're editing your columns. So here for this example target, we know that from Amazon's data, it's telling us there's a 7,000 almost monthly search volume for it. Currently, we're getting 5.2% of the impression share. This is the total amount of purchases that happen on this target, and we're getting this amount for our brand. And then these two columns are from the search term impression share report. We're ranked 9th out of everyone bidding on this keyword. We're ranked 9th, and we're getting 3% of the ads impressions. So those things we can look at to really compare, okay, if I'm ranked 9th and my bid is 388, can I increase the bid to show up more often and get this rank down to a 1 or a 2? So I like using all 6 of these columns to help my decision making.
Got it.
And the reason we have
And
this part up
and
here,
someone can also save this view, right? It's if they want to save this view, that's it. And every time they log in, they want to only see these metrics in a certain manner.
yep, you just edit the columns by clicking this button and choosing what you do or don't want to see in this area. And then in filters, if you want to change, so we've got this filter here, clicks greater than 5. We can also save this and have it as a one-click upload. So maybe you've got 6 or 7 different things you want to filter, and you can save it so it's just a one-click load from this button here. So you can save as many filters
Awesome.
as you like. Okay, and then just last thing on the manual uploads, it's really important to know how fresh the data is that you're working with. So we can see here that the last manual upload for this particular marketplace was the 25th. So I know I'm working with data that's 5 days old. Typically, I would do this once a week just to keep the data as fresh as possible. But we don't want to be working with data that's months old. So That's important
Got it.
to know. Any questions that you want me to answer here, Karan, on the targets management
Nope.
area?
Not yet.
All right, awesome.
Yep.
Of course, the next part would be the search terms, and this is those two areas, targets and search terms, are pretty much going to be the main pieces that we're managing on a daily, weekly basis. So for search terms, a couple really important things in here is that you can do negations and you can convert it to a keyword or a target from here. So again, filters become quite important in the search term area. We might say, okay, if clicks have been greater than 10, but we don't have any orders in this particular time frame, which is 30-day by default. Nothing in here. Let's go for greater than 5. Okay, just as an example, greater than 5, no orders. If I wanted to negate these, I could just click this, add to negative, and then I could just say, accept the pop-up that comes up that says, do I want to negate it only in the place that it's come from, or do I want to choose more campaigns to negate this search term from as well? So you can do that.
Got it. Yep.
And you can do all of this in bulk. So if I just hide the filter for a second, you can,
Hmm.
if the filter was the one I wanted to negate, I could just go bulk, add to negative, and then accept the pop-up that comes up. So really easy to manage your negatives from within PPC Storm. And then my favorite feature of the data analytics part is this aggregates button. So
Hmm.
some people might have experienced where, especially if you've got quite a well-known brand name that you're working with, if you have the brand name show as search terms in multiple different campaigns and you don't want to negate it all into one spot, and there's a reason you need to keep it in multiple campaigns, that you still need to be able to assess the performance of it. So for example, if we just use like Coca-Cola or something like that, if we were working with Coca-Cola, maybe we want to see how Coca-Cola as the search term performs across the whole account. And that's what this would help
Okay.
with. This, and it brings in all of the data tables together and merges all the data. So you're able to see what your cost per acquisition is on a particular search term blended across your
Hmm.
whole account. So this is really helpful in a positive and a negative way, in that you can see what search terms are winners and where you want to start trying to grow more impression share on those search terms. And on the opposite of that, maybe you've got one piece of that search term that's really dragging down the performance, and you can see that from the cost per acquisition piece. So those
Okay.
are two pretty cool pieces there. All right. So that's keywords and search terms area. I'm not going to go through the other brands and display because it's similar, but you can manage your campaign placements within here. You can manage your campaigns, which would be your budgets, and your campaign scheduling, which we'll go through in a second. And then you've got a separate dashboard that showcases some metrics just on the sponsored products level. So if you want to dive a little deeper into the ad type, you can do that here too.
This is a great view actually of comparisons of all the campaign spends. It kind of
Mhm.
shows you the progress, or even if it is a decline. Yeah, this is a great graph. So,
Exactly. It's like a day by day up here, and you can go through and again turn on or off anything you want to compare. All right. So I'm going to, again, negative keywords we've already been through, but you can monitor all of the negatives you've already put in through these areas here. We've got negative keywords, campaign negatives, and negative targets. But I'm going to jump into the automations here, which I think is probably the majority of people, what they're interested in.
yep.
So we call these automation engines. Um, each of these automations performs a specific task or role, and
Hmm.
it's entirely customizable to what you would like it to do. So you can set it up to run how often you want, to measure against a time frame you want, and to take a custom action. So if I just go into one of these, for example, so here we've got one that's set up here already. If I just add one, rule name, RocketHub test. I want to run this. I want the PPC Storm to run this rule daily, and I'm looking for a target ACOS of 20%. That's what I'm looking for the automation to try and optimize for. And then this over is how much data do you want the rule to assess every time it runs. So typically, if you want it to be quite aggressive in the changes and reactive, you want to go less of a time frame. If you want it to be more stable and make less aggressive changes, you would go on a longer time frame. Typically 30 days is pretty good. And then this part is super important when you're setting these rules up, is this max bid change per day is a percentage of the current. So if I had a $1 bid and the rule ran tomorrow, it would only move the current bid of a dollar up or down by a maximum of 10%. So 10 cents
Okay.
in that case, either way, up or down.
So this
And
is
then
like
these,
I think adding the rules, correct custom rules,
this is
like we
custom
have in
rules,
Facebook
yes.
advertising, like how much you can
Similar,
just
yes.
increase it by a percentage. Got it. Yeah.
But it's also got the goal in here. So it's not just
Yeah.
incremental up or down. This is it
Based
assesses
on.
what the bid would need to be, but then we're setting these thresholds here to make sure that it doesn't go too crazy up or down on a daily basis.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You can change this to weekly and monthly if you'd like as well, how often it runs.
Got it.
And then here, the min bid and max bid, these are how high will you allow this automation to push the bid,
Mm.
or how low will you allow it to drop? So
Okay.
it will calculate what it needs to be, and then it will change it an amount based on this threshold, but it won't go outside of your range that you set here. So this is extremely important. Some people we've seen who know the range they want to work within, they'll put something like this. They'll put min bid of 1, max bid of 5. So they'll know that it will never be reduced to below 1. If you leave it as the default, which is 2 cents, um, and it's optimizing, you might end up going a little too low for impressions. So that's something to keep in mind. One thing that some people seem to miss is when you've made your rule, make sure you select this button. And when it says active, all that means is that it's available to be assigned. And you've got to
Okay.
assign it to campaigns for it to be functioning against those campaigns or targets. So make sure this button is selected and then save it, and then you'll be able to assign it to a campaign. And then under here, you can see we've got a log. So we've got the keyword here, and we've got what happened. It was $5 before, it's now $4.75. Then we've got the metrics that it was assessing based on that. And there's coming soon, there's going to be a button where you can click to say revert. If you don't want that change to happen, if you don't want that reduction in bid, you can click that and it would just set it back to what it was before this change. So that's
Mm.
coming in the next week or
Got
so.
it. Got it.
While we're on the rules here, I'll just quickly bounce back into the campaigns area to show you how to assign it. So in campaigns, go here, you go attach rules, and then a pop-up would come up. It's not going to let me in demo mode, I don't think. No. A pop-up would come up and it would say the different rule names. So in that case, it was ACOS optimizer, and then we would select the rule that we just made called RocketHub test. Okay.
Got it.
This one's it's a brand new thing we just launched last week. More for the freelancers and agencies who are managing client accounts. Is that once you've set up your rules once, and you can have as many rules as you like, but you can clone your rules. So if you click this button, you can push it to every other marketplace you want to. Instead of having to rebuild it in every marketplace, you can build your strategy, your system in one marketplace, and then you can push it across to all other marketplaces and
Wow.
run all your campaigns in the same way. Which is again the reason that we've built PPC Storm, is because we want to be able to manage in our style at scale, and everyone's style is slightly different.
Yep.
So we just wanted to give everyone the ability to do it in their own way.
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. To make sure I've got everything there.
We have a
Cool.
question if you
Yes.
want to take it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
related to suggestion. Let me just put it. Okay, we have someone. We have Brett. Good morning, Brett from Denver. I need to watch the replay later, but I wanted to check in for sample view. Welcome, Brett. And we have Hanso. This is the question. Where is the option to manually review suggestions instead of making changes automatically?
Hansel, thanks for that question. I think I might have already been in contact with you via email about this, but there is no way to almost like a pending section. We don't have that. It's more of you either choose to do it manually or you choose to do via automations. this table below the screen you can see right now, the activity logs, is where you'd see what changes the automation made. And currently, as of right now, you can go back and find that change and make the change manually. As of about a week from now, there'll be a one-click button where you can say, no, I don't like that change, reverse it for me. I don't agree with it. And then obviously, if you find yourself not agreeing with a lot of the changes, it means you probably need to go and change the rule so that you can agree with the changes more often. But yes, thank you for that question. And I think that's important for everyone to know is
Mhm.
there isn't a pending status. It's either you have automations on a set of campaigns or a set of keywords, or you're doing it manually yourself. But even while you're doing it manually, you're saving so much time by doing this all in one spot, and you can do it all in bulk with creative uses of the filters and the bulk features.
Got it. And one more question. Yeah, someone asked me, and I think we should clear it as well.
Mhm.
So this is available worldwide for the Amazon marketplaces, right? So let's say even if someone is doing from Amazon Japan, Seller Central in Japan, they can connect their account. So there's no restriction in the geography wise.
Correct. Any marketplace that Amazon offers that allow advertising, we should be able to connect to it, no problem. Yeah, we've got users
Got it.
worldwide.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because that this was a common question, and said yeah, it's there's no restriction based on the
Yep.
geography.
Awesome. Any other questions? Or should I move on to
Yeah,
the next
let's
piece?
continue. We should come back later. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this is again in and around the automations. I'll
Yep.
explain this because I don't think I can show it in demo mode well. Can I? Yeah, it does let me. Perfect. So a recipe is almost like a template of a set of rules. So you might have let's call it a launch recipe, where you have a rule for ACOS optimizer that is pushing for a high ACOS because you want more impressions. I'll explain what all of these other automations are in a second, but you can have different rules for ACOS optimizer, for search term zapper, for search term scout in what you would call, for example, a launch mode. And then you can apply a recipe to a campaign or a set of campaigns all at once. So if you want to put a bunch of campaigns in launch mode or whatever recipe you decide, you can do this all at once. And again, this is just for scalability and ease of saving time while you're setting up a new client or you're even just launching a new product. So this is a really good feature. And again, don't forget to click activate recipe once you've built it for the ability to assign it. Um, let me explain what each of these rules do for now. So ACOS optimizer, it's based on the revenue per click, algorithmic model. We calculate what the revenue per click is, and then we assign a value to what the bid should be for your target ACOS you set. And again, what we looked at in those thresholds is it's going to incrementally change the bid based on your max change per day to push it up or down towards that target ACOS number. Search term zapper, this is going to be based on your rules you set. It's going to be automatically negating search terms. So you could set up the rule in something like if there is more than X amount of spend or X amount of clicks within a certain time frame and no sales or only one sale, whatever you want to put, it will automatically negate it in that campaign for you. In search term scout, this is the opposite of that. You can again set rules of I would like it to have made at least 2 sales within 30 days and the ACOS must be below 30%. If those criteria are met, we can say I want it to be put in this campaign. And I personally use a campaign type just called a proven campaign for a
Mhm.
certain product. So anything to do with that certain product that qualifies for my search term scout rule will get pushed into the proven campaign at the current cost per click or at a predefined amount of bid that you select while you're setting up the rule.
Got it.
Wasted spend optimizer. This is a campaign automation. So this is a keyword, basically the same thing as search term zapper, but for keywords. So with your criteria, it will pause keywords if they're underperforming. Campaign budgeting, this is up or down based on performance. And Amazon do have campaign budgeting automation somewhat, but they only, of course, let you increase your budgets. They don't let you decrease budgets. So they want you to spend more. But this is
Got
just a way to set your own criteria on increase or decrease campaign budgets based on some data.
it. Hmm.
And this was my favorite automation. I'm sure a lot of you on this webinar have found that when you're launching a brand new product and you're testing new keywords, you don't know what bid is appropriate to start getting impressions. This automation is the solution to that, is that we can set a rule that says if keyword doesn't get at least 300 impressions over a certain time period, I want to keep increasing the bid until it gets its very first click. So, for example, you might get no impressions on day one, it increases the bid. You might get some impressions, but no clicks on day 2, 3, 4, and then still increase the bid again. And then you might get your first click on day 7. Keyword
Hmm.
quota turns off, and we know we're at an appropriate bid for that particular keyword. So it's a way to automatically and incrementally do this without wasting money, because a lot of people end up having to go in with quite an aggressive bid to make sure that time isn't wasted here. But this is a really nice middle ground of not wasting money and not wasting your personal time because it's automated.
Got it.
Awesome. All right, that's automations done there. Any questions on the automation pieces?
Yeah, I think there's one more from Han. So it's a follow-up question. There are certain times when certain keywords have no saves even after 20 clicks, but those are important keywords. In such cases, we wouldn't want to negate those keywords.
Yep, for sure. And you, in those cases, the way we've done it to manage that is if it's an important keyword you don't want to be part of an automation, you can either have a separate campaign that you don't run automations against. So, like important keywords or something like that, you wouldn't put your negation automation on that campaign if you know it's important and you know you don't want to negate it.
Got it. There's one more question. I think, yeah. Here's where the pending action would be really helpful. Are you planning to implement the pending action feature or consider for the roadmap?
It's not currently on the roadmap, but as I say, we're very agile and flexible. If this is something that people think is important to their workflow, certainly open to getting it pushed up the priority list in the roadmap. So I guess while we're on roadmap and requests and things, um, this bottom left area here, this bell icon, I'm not sure if you can still see it when I click it, but
Yeah, we can see it
um,
in the back end.
perfect.
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
So we got the change log here, which is just some when I push announcements, this will go through here. We've got the roadmap, which you can see kind of the bigger features that are planned and in progress. But most importantly, I'd love everyone to get as involved as you can with the feature requests. Either upvote anything that's already here, or feel free to add as many requests as you like. We will definitely be prioritizing new feature build outs based on this priority list here. So if you would like to get involved in voting, then please do. This is just, again, it's in the bottom left, this widget here, and you'll be able to go to feature requests. If you click this button,
Awesome.
it will just take you to a page where you can write out what you want. But other than that, you can just upvote anything you find in here.
Great. Cool. We have one more question from David, and then we can, I think, go forward. David asks, I think it's the search term Zapper where part of the rule is based on sales not happening. For me, sales may not be happening yet, and I would like to base the rule just on clicks or impressions.
Yep, you can do it just based on impressions.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, this is now. We have completed the questions. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So the next piece is I wanted to show you, which is a relatively new piece for us, is the time series dashboard. So this is a kind of in conjunction, you can use it with the campaign scheduling. So this is a way for us to see performance differences based on, I like to use it for day of the week, but we can have it of the actual day of the calendar day, the week, or the month of the year. A lot of people are asking for hourly data, which is certainly something we're going to be adding to this dashboard in the near future. But for now, it's day of the week that we use it for primarily. And in here you can compare day of the week, what it looks like for every metric in a visual form, if you're that way inclined. But yeah, this is a really nice way of assessing. For example, in this case, we can see, Tuesday's revenue is a lot lower than the majority of the rest of them, and we can figure out if it's a reason that are we just not spending enough, we're kind of spending about the same as these other days, so maybe we want to look at maybe pulling spend back or pushing that budget across to the other days that are generating more money. If that's something that you come to the conclusion of, you can then set up a campaign schedule to be paused for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and save the budget for that if that's what you'd like to do. But all the data you need is within here to make those decisions. Okay, and then the next one, marketplaces. So
And
marketplaces.
the time, sorry for the so
Go
time
ahead. Yeah.
series can it be extended like from the beginning of the campaigns, or is it a certain like only certain time period you can see, or you can just have a custom,
Yeah, again, it
time
won't let me
frame?
in demo mode. But when you open this up, it will let you select any time frame you like, where as long as we've obviously got the data in PPC Storm for it. So if
Got
you've been active for a year, there's a year's worth of data. You can go back an entire year and see which day of the week works for what metrics happen on each day of the week for that whole year. Or you can break it down by week, or even month by month, which month works better. But again, the longer you're with us, the more data you'll have to play with.
got it. Cool.
Awesome. Okay, so marketplaces, this counts for, I guess, like overall accounts or clients as well. But say, for example, you've got 20 clients and you need to search for your client's name just to see their data. You can just type the name in the search bar and it'll filter it out just for that client. Let's say they've got 7 marketplaces and you need to see their performance. You can do that. So this would be like account name, and then the marketplace would say something like USA or Canada or Mexico. One thing that we've released literally an hour before this webinar is goal setting. Goal setting, goal
Oh, nice.
tracking. As you can see with the different colors, we've started to implement it, but right before this for a demo. But you can set certain goals for every KPI that's going to be here. So in this case, we've set a sales goal. There'll be a little trophy icon right next to the account here where you can set it. But if I click this, it will show you the target is 35K for rolling 30 days. And we've got 31,256 currently. And you can also see what trajectory you need to hit on a daily basis in order to achieve that goal, and whether you're on track or not on track. So this is a really, really cool visual way of seeing, of A, reporting on your performance to your clients, and B, being able to much quicker identify if you're on track for the goal you need to be at. Instead of waiting until the end of the month and realizing that you're 25% down on performance, you can make these decisions and actions a lot quicker than you would be reporting in a typical way. And the colors are graded on, if it's green, it's either met the goal or exceeding. If it's orange, it's better than 75% of goal met. And if it's red, it's less than 75% of goal met. So you can see some of these pieces in here. And then, yes, you get all of your marketplace data. And I haven't even spoken about trends. I guess I should explain what these are too. You can turn these on or off. So show or hide the trends. But the trends are these pieces here where it's showing you I'm 37.4% down in spend versus the same time period I'm looking at. So I'm looking at 30 days right now. The 30 days previous to that, we were looking at 22,713 in spend for this particular marketplace. And trends are available in every table that we have in PPC Storm.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on
the
the marketplace
we have one
dashboard
here? Can we set up the rule to decrease or increase the budget of multiple campaigns in bulk based on the time of the day?
Time of the day isn't live yet, but definitely coming as part of that feature. As part of that feature, it will be time of day is the next piece. And then after that, it'll be increase or decrease bids based on time of day also. So you can be more aggressive in the evening when everyone else is running out of budget, things like that. You can do whatever you want to. That's kind of V1, V2, V3 of that feature, yeah. Awesome. All right. So two other pieces I've got here to show you. Back to that screen. Alerts. So one thing we found out in the agency world, is it going to let me in here? It's not letting me in here. So in notifications, you can set up alerts for two things. You can set up alerts for billing issues, which is something that we were not being notified before about. If a client was running ads and their credit card maxed out or expired or something, if you don't notice that before your client, then it's a big no-no, right? You're in trouble. So you've got to be notified about any billing issues on any client accounts so that you can be the proactive one and say, hey, I noticed your ads have stopped running an hour ago. We need to update your credit card. And it looks like you're being incredibly proactive. You can set up a notification for that to be sent to any email or a multitude of emails for your whole team, as well as buy box notifications. So whether you win or lose the buy box for certain products, and any kind of changes to that buy box, whether the price changes, whether the fees change, anything like that, you can set both of those notifications up within this area. One piece that I'm really looking forward to that's getting added to notifications is we're going to set it up so that you can notify yourself based on thresholds. For example, we can say, I want to be notified if my goal isn't being met, if it's less than 50% of the goal. I want to be notified if a product is 20% down based on the same time periods of last month. We're going to set all of that up right in here within notifications. So that's going to be something that you can just be, again, proactive about. If you find out something's happening quicker, you can make those actions quicker as well.
Got it.
And then the other thing, which I can't show live, but I have an image of, is the keyword tracking area. So we're getting a lot of questions in the Facebook groups and things, which has been really awesome. A lot of it has been in about, how do we compare to a tool like Helium 10 with all the product research and keyword research? That isn't something that we are trying to be. We're not a research tool. We're definitely more of an operational, functional, how can I optimize my campaigns better type tool. But there is one piece where we feel like it's really important to the management of your campaigns is understanding your organic and your sponsored ranking for particular keywords and whether there's opportunity for you to improve those. So we've released a keyword tracker where you can track a certain amount of keywords. If I stop sharing this, I can just quickly share some images maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So there we go. I don't know if you can see that. But
Yep.
we've got keyword tracker. You can see organic rank, sponsored rank, and then this green button will pop up a graph to show you the progress of it, which I think was the thing behind here. Yeah. So this would show you organic versus sponsored rankings and how you're doing for that. And you can add your notes in. But yeah, that's should be going live across everyone's account today, if not tomorrow. And that is going to be a paid add-on for everyone. It's going to be an add-on for core users, which is our monthly recurring payers, as well as any LTD plans. We will make it very reasonable and definitely some kind of deal for you guys. Anyone taking part of the LTD will get preferential pricing. But that's just a piece that's going to be really important for you guys to track and just utilize with your analytics. And then that's everything I had kind of for explaining, I guess, Karan. But I have just wanted to talk about some kind of the bigger features that we're releasing in the next month or so.
Yeah.
One thing I think is really important is the ability to create a whole set of campaigns as quickly as possible. If you are trying to onboard a new client or a new account, and you've already got your established templates that you like to put forward as a new product launch, the ability to, essentially a one button launch campaigns where you can go 12, 13 campaigns across all the different ad types and have it all set up at once with all the rules you want attached to them too. So I'm calling it guided campaign creation, but that's going to be something that's released in the next couple of weeks. That's really exciting for us. It's going to save everyone, again, a lot of time. as you can tell, that's a big priority for us, is to make sure that everyone is spending less time doing this and is being as efficient as possible.
Yep.
And
Correct.
then the other big piece is going to be on the similar to the ACOS optimizer, but it's going to be a new automation engine called rank-based bidding. And if you're utilizing
Okay.
the keyword tracker, we're going to be able to bid based on an aggression of the ranking that you'd like. For example, if you're trying to get to organic rank position 1, you'll be able to track that with keyword tracker and then edit your bids based on what's happening there. Again, all automatically or without you having to do anything. So those are two things that, yeah, two big things that are coming that we're really looking forward to, as well as goals that were released today and keyword tracker that's being opened up to everyone, either today or tomorrow.
Got it. Okay, we had one question. Yeah, this is we took care of it. This one. Yeah. With the keyword tracker be integrated with the campaigns.
Great question, Hansil. Yeah, I would love it to be, at least in the targets screen, so that you can see target and rank. It won't be in V1, but that's something I would like to use myself as well, of course. So we're really trying to get that going. But V1, it'll just be keyword tracker as its own independent menu item.
Got it. Uh, we had a few questions. I think one major questions was with the KDP, right? Because many folks they don't sell on Amazon Marketplace, but have let's say Kindles, and they do the publishing over there. They sell books, like stuff like that. So, do you have a provision for those guys?
Yeah, I've been very pleasantly surprised at how many people have been asking about KDP. It's obviously an incredibly growing industry and area within selling on
Hmm,
Amazon. So we haven't built anything incredibly specific for KDP, but the advertising portion works just the same. There's just one piece. It's like text-based ads or something where you can preview a part of the book as you're advertising. It's the only piece we don't have accessible within PPC Storm for it, but everything else should work the same from an advertising perspective.
got it. Okay. So I'm just going through a few questions through the community, which community had, so that way we can get them out of the way and have them like
Sure.
answered live from your end. So just give me 1 second. Can it be used for product and competition research to understand overall market in a niche? Or I think what you mentioned before, that we are just for operations and management of existing campaigns.
Yeah, and this is a really good question too, because I feel like research, both competitor and keyword and everything like that, is ongoing. It's not something you just do at the start. You should always be trying to optimize and grow. The caveat to that is we don't do the initial research within PPC Storm. So, for example, a Helium 10 would be a good option for that to find some potential keywords to use at the very start. But what you should be doing on a weekly basis at least is going through all the data that we're bringing in from Amazon and assessing all the ASINs that come in that you're performing well against. We should be checking what those are and seeing if we can do any improvements. We should be looking at categories that we're performing well in. We should be looking at new search terms that we aren't bidding on as keywords. So I would
Hmm,
consider that research myself, but that's by using your existing data to then create a better performance. So kind of yes, but not as your initial research, but for your ongoing research, for sure, you can do everything within PPC Storm.
Um, yeah, and I think there was a question on a similar line. Can it advise audit report existing accounts too, right? So that's not possible, correct? Or it can
Sorry,
audit the
did you say audit reports?
yeah, audit or report existing accounts.
Yes. So yeah, we're working on an instant audit where you can essentially just
Hmm,
have something ready within an hour. For now, the way we're doing our audits is importing them as a client, waiting the 24 hours for all of the data to come in, and then doing the checks as if we were running their accounts for them already and just saying, here are all the opportunities we see. So Instant audit is something that's on the roadmap already. Again, if people find these things important for their day-to-day use, please upvote them because then it'll help us prioritize these things even better.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's what till now community had these questions, and then you answered it pretty beautifully. Thank you so much for that. Um, Cool. Yeah, I think that's all. Then it was a great session, and for folks on the session, live session, and who will be watching the replay after this, go and grab the deal. It's a very unique product which has come in after a long time. And even other marketplaces, they aren't able to get any stuff like this. Um, so the founder Sam has been in the industry since 10 years, so he really knows what he's doing. And yeah, the tool is built on the experience more. It's if you see the tool, it has the experience of 10 years into it, rather than just a tool which has been built using AI. This is
Mhm.
not, just a tool. So go ahead and then manage your stuff, manage your Amazon. So Sam, one more question: if anyone who wants to start an Amazon ads agency, can they use PPC Storm? Like, because just using PPC Storm, can they manage clients? So if there's someone who doesn't have any Amazon ads as a service, can they start
Mhm.
offering Amazon ads as a service once they get PPC Storm?
100%. You need to have a basic level of what you would like to do, but in terms of the operational, it's gonna. So, just as an example, our agency, when before we had PPC Storm, we had to have maybe 5 marketplaces per employee, and now it's at least 20 per employee.
Hmm.
So,
Okay,
in terms of scalability for your agency, we're getting better performance. We're spending less time in the weeds and more time doing analysis and making sure our clients are happy and setting goals. So um, it's a very necessary tool. And again, in terms of longevity of the tool, we need it as our agency. We're not going anywhere. It's going to be existing forever. So um, we're just here to try and share the power that PPC Storm has and help people grow their businesses.
that's cool. All right, thank you so much. And I think we answered all the questions we had in this the stream today. And if I think we'll have more questions when we approach the weekend, as we start posting more. So yeah, I think thank you so much for your time, Sam. Thank you for giving out your insights about Amazon ads. And yeah, I think that's it. We would then see you next time. And if you have any closing statements for the community, just you can speak it out.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks again for your time, Karan, and thanks everyone for taking the time to join us on the webinar. Um, Really, if anyone has any questions, whether it's specifically about the tool or just about Amazon ads in general, feel free to shoot us a message either in the widget on the bottom right of your account. You get straight through to me, or you can email us at support@ppcstorm.com, and either me or one of the ads experts will be able to help you out with whatever you need. So yeah, don't be shy. Feature requests, advice, whatever you need, we're here for you.
Got it. Cool. Awesome. So thank you so much, folks. And then Sam, we'll see you next time as well. Another live sessions which we're going to do with other group members and committee members next week. So yeah, thanks so
Good.
much, and then we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye.